As a student at a rigorous school like Ramaz, I'm constantly trying to boost my productivity so I can complete my work as quickly and efficiently as possible. Even during the weekends, I usually think about all the schoolwork that I need to finish. This has been true ever since I entered high school. And unfortunately, my inability to stop thinking about schoolwork has often diminished my Shabbat experience. After all, Shabbat is not just a day of physical rest, but a day of mental relaxation as well. A person must be both physically and mentally relaxed in order to truly fulfill the spirit of Shabbat. Although I was well aware of how to properly observe Shabbat before entering high school, repeating the halakha to myself did not really help me clear my mind. Instead, the words Vayanach Bayom HaShvi'i allowed me to do so. These words, which appear in the Ten Commandments of Parshat Yitro, simply mean that God rested on the seventh day. Rashi raises the obvious question of how God, a being of infinite energy, would need to rest. He answers that the Torah used these words to teach a kal vachomer. Just as God, a being of infinite energy, must rest, so too man, a being of finite energy, must rest. When I read this commentary for the first time in shul, I thought Rashi's answer was nice, but not particularly meaningful or amazing. After reading it several times over, I realized that his commentary didn't really speak to me because it failed to address how God could rest when he has so much to do. This had been my problem, after all. I couldn't stop thinking about work on Shabbat. After contemplating Rashi's answer and my struggle to remain mentally relaxed on Shabbat, I noticed that the kal vachomer offered by Rashi can be made far more meaningful. Just as God, who constantly needs to work, rested on Shabbat, so too humans who have an infinitely lighter workload should rest on Shabbat. I think that both of these kal vachomers can provide guidance and motivation to those who struggle to observe the core aspects of Shabbat. I also find comfort in the fact that the Israelites accepted upon themselves the mitzvah of Shabbat despite living in an environment that ordinarily requires a lot of work to survive. They were constantly vulnerable to attack, and though Hashem provided them with food, he did not provide them with a constant water supply in the desert. I cannot imagine living in such a dangerous environment and also performing no work for a full day. After all, human nature is designed to make man anxious about his survival and well-being. This applies just as much today, too, even though there are no threats to our well-being as serious as those in the wilderness. The willingness of the Israelites to put aside their fears and uphold Shabbat provides me with an extra sense of motivation that is just as relatable, if not more, than the motivation I received from the pasuk Vayanach Bayom HaShvi'i. Shabbat Shalom.